Well, she sneaks around the world from India to Carolina. She's a sticky-fingered filcher from Berlin down to Belize. She'll take you for a ride on a slow boat to China. Tell me, where in the world is
this place?
Hello, Metcalf School. You may wonder why I look so happy today. Well, it's because I am in one of the happiest countries in the entire world. Now, the people here are happy because A, the sun shines most of the time, and B, it's like summer most of the time, and who doesn't love summer? And C, this island is surrounded by beautiful blue Caribbean waters. So it's like the trifecta of wonderful things. I visited this country, I think 3 times before this visit. And here's a picture of me. You can see I look like I'm having a super good time hanging out at the beach, one of the best places to be. Now, this island was discovered, in quotation marks, discovered by a European dude. And I'll ask about that a little later. This European dude said he discovered it, but there were already people here, and they were the Taino people and the Arawak people. So even though we're going to say the European guy discovered it, that's really not exactly true. So I know I already said that the country I'm in today is an island, but I just want to give you a rough idea of the size of this island. It's a little bit smaller than the state of Connecticut. So bigger than Rhode Island, but smaller than Connecticut, and it's the 3rd largest island in the Caribbean. Now, though the island is surrounded by beautiful Caribbean waters, it's dominated by the mountains that are in the middle of the island. They are called the Blue Mountains. Now, these mountains export some of the best coffee you can have in the world. It's grown right here in the Blue Mountains. The coffee is locally handpicked, obviously, because how would you handpick it from somewhere else? And it's locally roasted. It's expensive coffee, but if you love coffee, this is for the teachers, it is worth the price. It is delicious. The people of this country really, really like spicy food. And in fact, one of their most famous dishes is called jerk chicken. Yeah, I know I said the word jerk, but jerk chicken refers to this dish. It's grilled chicken with this really like spicy, I think it's habanero sauce. And it's so good. It will make your nose run. It clears out all your sinuses, but it is fantastic.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At Metcalf School, we believe all students can achieve academic excellence and become lifelong learners and productive citizens.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. Today, we would like to wish Emily Taylor and Jasmine Thornley the happiest of birthdays. Enjoy your special day. This country is known for having beautiful beaches and also Higgins barking in the background. There are over 50 beaches in this beautiful country. The beach I was standing on at the beginning of this episode was called 7 Mile Beach. 7 miles of beautiful white sand, Caribbean blue water, just a fantastic place to be. This country is also known for having really fast
runners. The top 3 runners in the entire world are from this country, including the world's fastest man right now, whose name is Usain Bolt. They're also known for their music. They invented a kind of music called reggae, and there was this really cool dude named Bob Marley who is from this country and really spread this kind of music throughout the world. In the 1600s, this country was well known as being a haven for actual pirates. We're not talking about Captain Hook or Johnny Depp. We're talking about real pirates who went through the high seas and looked for loot and stuff. These real pirates, they were in a town that was called Port Royal. Unfortunately, the town was destroyed by a terrible earthquake in 1692, and 2/3 of this town disappeared into the Caribbean Sea, and that was kind of the end of pirates here in this country. Last week, I was in South Dakota. I had asked you who are the 4 presidents on Mount Rushmore. They were George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and Theodore Roosevelt. I asked who Crazy Horse was. Crazy Horse was an Indian warrior, that's a hard word to say, warrior who led a rebellion against the white people who were trying to move into the Native Americans' lands. Here are the winners from last week. Miss McPhillips had number 1. Mrs. Pigeon had 1, 2, and 3. Mrs. Lavoie had number 1. Mrs. Barber had 1 and 2. Miss Ryan, number 2. Mrs. Bressler, 1, 2, and 3. Mrs. Scott, number 2. Mrs. Bucacci, 1 and 2. Miss Lobo had number 1. Mrs. Murdoch, number 1. Mrs. Ritchie, number 2. Mrs. Ewing Chow / Mariano, 1 and 2. Mrs. Neal, 2. Mrs. Millard, 1. Mrs. LeClaire, 1 and 2. Miss Place and Mrs. Ortiz, 1 and 2. Mrs. Wilbur, 1, 2, and 3. And Mrs. Geyer had number 2. So for this week, the 3 questions are: number 1, what country am I in? Number 2, what European explorer discovered this country? And number 3, what religion was invented here in this country? I hope everybody has a super fun day, and I'll see you next week on Where in the World is Miss Blaze?
Don't worry.